The Last Signal, Chapter 1, Static Dreams. The console hummed its familiar lullaby as Maya Chen Okafor settled into her worn chair, the leather cracked from 127 years of different hands, different hopes. Outside the observation port, stars wheeled in their ancient dance, but Maya's eyes were fixed on the radio equipment that had become both her obsession and her torment. Every night for the past 15 years, she had performed this ritual. Her fingers moved across the dials with practiced precision, sweeping through frequencies that carried nothing but the cosmic background radiation's endless whisper. She was searching for something that logic told her could no longer exist, a voice from Earth. The generation ship Prometheus had been humanity's ark, carrying 50,000 souls away from a dying world where the climate wars had torn civilization apart. Maya's great-grandmother had been among the original radio operators, and her journal still sat beside the console, its pages yellowed with age. Day 847 since departure, one entry read in fading ink. Still monitoring Earth frequencies. Maria thinks I'm torturing myself, but I have to believe someone survived. I have to believe we weren't the last to leave. Maya understood that faith now, that desperate need to believe in connection across the impossible void. She adjusted the antenna array, feeling the slight vibration through the ship's hull as the massive dishes turned toward the pale blue dot that Earth had become, if it was still blue at all. Static filled her headphones, punctuated by the occasional pop of cosmic interference. The sound had become her meditation, her prayer to the darkness between worlds. Chapter 2, The Breakthrough. The voice cut through the static like a blade through silk. 10. Maya's hand froze on the frequency dial. After 15 years of silence, the clarity was shocking. A human voice speaking English with a slight accent she couldn't place. 9. Her heart hammered against her ribs. This wasn't background chatter or some automated beacon. This was deliberate, purposeful. Someone was counting down. 8. Maya's fingers flew over the transmission controls, switching to broadcast mode. Hello? Hello, this is the Prometheus. Can you hear me? Please respond. 7. No acknowledgement. The countdown continued with mechanical precision, but beneath the numbers, Maya caught something else, the sound of breathing, labored and tired. 6. She cranked the transmission power to maximum, her voice cracking as she spoke into the microphone. This is Maya Chen Okafor aboard the generation ship Prometheus. You're not alone. We're listening. Please talk to me. 5. The voice remained steady, but Maya heard a pause. The slightest hesitation before the next number. Had he heard her? After all these decades of silence, had someone finally heard humanity calling across the void? 4. Chapter 3. Final words. 3. A longer pause this time. Then, wonderfully unexpectedly, did someone just say Prometheus? Maya nearly sobbed with relief. Yes, this is the generation ship Prometheus. We launched in 2157. Are you really on Earth? A sound that might have been laughter, bitter and exhausted. Earth, what's left of it? My name is Dr. James Chen, and before you ask, yes, we might be related. There were a lot of Chens on the manifest, if I remember correctly. Dr. Chen, how many of you are there? Are there other stations? Silence stretched across the void. When he spoke again, his voice carried the weight of unbearable solitude. Just me, has been just me for 3 years now. The Svalbard Research Station was the last to go dark. I've been maintaining the atmospheric processors, keeping the data archives running, but the seals are failing. The storms are getting worse. Maya closed her eyes, trying to process the magnitude of what she was hearing. You're alone? On the entire planet? The ice caps finished melting 2 years ago. The weather systems collapsed completely after that. I've got maybe 6 months of life support left, but honestly, his voice faded, then returned stronger. I've been broadcasting humanity's cultural archives on rotating frequencies. Music, literature, scientific data, everything I could preserve. I figured if anyone was out there, if any of the generation ships made it, you should have it all. You should remember what we were. Chapter 4, The Choice. Dr. Chen, we're entering orbit around Kepler 442b right now. We made it. Humanity made it. Good. The relief in his voice was palpable. That's everything I needed to hear. The planet's dying, Maya, but we didn't. Not completely. Through the observation port, Maya could see the first hints of atmosphere glowing around their new world. 50,000 colonists slept in cryogenic suspension, dreaming of the paradise they'd been promised. They would wake to mountains and oceans, to breathable air and fertile soil. They would wake to hope. But should they wake to the truth? Maya stared at her great-grandmother's journal, at the faded words of someone who had carried the burden of watching Earth disappear into the dark. The colonists had grieved their lost world once, over a century ago. Did they need to grieve it again? Maya? Dr. Chen's voice was growing weaker. The storm's getting worse. I don't think I have much time left. Her finger hovered over the ship-wide communication switch. One toggle and 50,000 people would learn that the Earth they remembered in their dreams, the Earth they told their children about, was gone forever. They would know that one man had stood alone in the ruins, keeping vigil until the very end. "I'm here," she whispered into the microphone. Tell them we held on as long as we could. Tell them to build something beautiful." The transmission dissolved into static, and Maya sat in the humming darkness, carrying the weight of a dead world's final words. Chapter 5: New Frequencies. Maya's hand moved to the ship-wide communication panel, then stopped. She looked out at their new world, already christened New Eden by the colonists, and made her choice. When she opened the channel, her voice was steady and clear. "This is Maya Chen Okafor, Senior Communications Officer broadcasting from orbit around New Eden. Today marks not just our arrival, but our responsibility to carry forward the voices of two worlds." She transmitted Dr. Chen's cultural archives alongside her own words, letting the colonists wake to both loss and legacy. They would grieve, yes, but they would also remember. They would build something beautiful. As the first shuttles prepared for launch, Maya tuned her radio to a new frequency, one that would carry humanity's voice outward from New Eden, toward other stars, other possibilities. Behind her, Earth's final signal faded to silence, but ahead, a new world hummed with the promise of 10,000 new stories waiting to be told. The last signal had become the first.